If you're over 50 and thinking about starting a YouTube channel, this might be the most important video you watch. Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, I've missed my chance? YouTube is for younger people. I wouldn't even know where to start. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. But here's the truth. Starting a YouTube channel after 50 isn't just possible. It might actually be one of the smartest things you can do at this stage of your life. In fact, your age could be your biggest advantage. In this video, we're going to explore why that is, what you already have that others don't, why people are actively looking for voices like yours, and how starting a channel can genuinely improve your life in ways you might not expect. Welcome. Come on in, get comfy, and let's sit for a while. One of the biggest misconceptions about YouTube is that it's all about trends, fast edits, and keeping up with what's popular. But if you look a little deeper, you'll see something very different. People are tired of shallow content. They're looking for honesty, experience, and real-life perspective. And that's where you come in. If you're over 50, you've lived through decades of change, personally, financially, socially. You've seen what works and what doesn't. You've made decisions that shaped your life, learned lessons the hard way, and built resilience over time. That's not something you can fake, and it's not something a 25-year-old can replicate. Your value isn't in being trendy, it's in being real. And right now, real is exactly what people are searching for. Here's something most people don't realise. The audience on YouTube is getting older. More and more people over 40, 50, 60 and 70 are watching videos every single day. And they're not just watching, they're searching. They're looking for content that speaks directly to their stage of life. Retirement planning, health changes, staying active, managing money, finding purpose after a career. But when they search, what do they find? Mostly younger creators who don't truly understand those experiences. That creates a huge gap, and that gap is your opportunity. Because when someone finds a creator who gets it, who speaks from lived experience, they don't just watch one video. They subscribe, they come back, and they learn that they can trust that person. And trust is what builds a successful channel. A lot of people delay starting because they think, what would I even talk about? And here's the reality. You're sitting on decades of content already. You just haven't thought of it that way. Let's break it down. Think about your life in chapters. Your working years. What jobs did you do? What did you learn? What mistakes would you warn others about? Your financial journey. What worked? What didn't? How did you handle tough times? Your health and lifestyle. How has your body changed? What routines help you stay active now? Your relationships. What have you learned about family, friendships, and long-term partnerships? Your personal growth. How has your mindset changed over time? Each of these areas could produce dozens, if not hundreds, of videos. And the best part? You don't need to research it. You've already lived it. Let's get more specific. Here are some meaningful, high-value topics that not only work on YouTube, but are in demand. Living on a pension. This is one of the most searched and relatable topics for people over 50. You could talk about how you budget your monthly income, what you've had to adjust or cut back on, smart ways you save money day to day. The emotional side of adapting to a fixed income. People don't want textbook advice. They want real life examples. Your lived experience is far more valuable than any generic financial guide. Staying fit and active over 50. Fitness looks very different as we get older, and that's exactly why this topic is so powerful. You could share your daily or weekly routine, gentle exercises that actually work, how you deal with stiffness, joint pain, or low energy. Small habits that make a big difference. This kind of content helps people feel capable, not overwhelmed, and that's incredibly important. Life lessons you wish you knew earlier. This is one of the most engaging types of content on YouTube, because people of all ages are curious about what really matters in life, what mistakes to avoid, and what priorities actually make you happy. You could create videos like 10 things I wish I knew at 30. What 50 years of life has taught me. The biggest mistakes people make in midlife. These videos are powerful because they're reflective, honest, and deeply human. Adjusting to retirement. Retirement isn't just a financial shift, it's a lifestyle shift. And many people struggle with it more than they expected. You could talk about how your daily routine changed, how you stay motivated, dealing with boredom or loss of structure, or finding new purpose. These are conversations people need, but don't always hear openly. Mental well-being and loneliness. This is a topic that doesn't get enough attention, but should. You could gently explore how you stay socially connected, ways you keep your mind active, coping with quieter days, finding joy in simple routines. Content like this doesn't just get views, it genuinely helps people. You might still be thinking, but why would anyone watch me? Here's the answer. People aren't just looking for information. They're looking for someone they can relate to. Someone who speaks calmly and clearly, doesn't rush, shares honestly, feels approachable. And that's often something older creators naturally do better. You don't need to perform, you just need to talk. And that's your strength, just the same as it's my strength. Another unexpected benefit of starting a YouTube channel. It builds confidence in a way that very few things do. At first, it might feel uncomfortable talking to a camera, hearing your own voice and watching yourself back. But over time, something changes. You begin to express yourself more clearly, feel more comfortable sharing your thoughts, and you realise that your voice matters. And when people start commenting, thanking you, relating to you, learning from you, that confidence grows even more. So here's what we've covered so far. You are not starting from behind. You're starting from a place of depth, experience, and authenticity. You already have the knowledge, the stories, and the perspective. And most importantly, there are people out there actively looking for exactly what you can offer. But for now, just consider this. Maybe it's not too late. Maybe it's actually the perfect time. Your experience, your perspective, your life lessons, that's your foundation. One of the biggest changes people experience after 50, especially in retirement, is the loss of structure. For decades, your days may have been shaped by work schedules, responsibilities and routines you didn't even have to think about. Then suddenly, that structure disappears. And while freedom sounds great at first, it can sometimes lead to a lack of motivation, days blending into each other, and maybe a feeling of, what do I do now? This is where a YouTube channel can quietly transform your daily life, because now you have something to work towards. Not pressure, not stress, but purpose. You might plan a video idea in the morning, film in the afternoon, edit the next day, and reply to comments later in the week. It gives your days a gentle rhythm again. And having that sense of direction, even in a small way, can make a huge difference to how you feel. Starting a YouTube channel is one of the most effective ways to keep your mind sharp, without it feeling like work. Think about what you're actually doing, like organising your thoughts, learning new skills, communicating ideas clearly and solving small creative problems. These are all things that keep your brain active and engaged. And the best part? You're learning at your own pace. You don't need to rush. You don't need to compete. You simply improve over time. And that process, slow, steady learning, is incredibly powerful for long-term mental well-being. Here's something many people don't realise until they start. YouTube can become a genuine source of connection. When you upload a video and speak honestly about your life, something interesting happens. People respond. They comment things like, "I feel exactly the same. Thank you for saying this. I thought I was the only one." And suddenly, you're not just talking to a camera. You're part of a conversation. Over time, you begin to recognise familiar names. People return. They engage. They share their own stories. It creates a quiet, meaningful sense of community. And for many people, especially those who may feel a bit isolated, that connection is incredibly valuable. Now, let's address something important. Can you make money from YouTube after 50? Yes, but it's important to approach this with the right mindset. This isn't about overnight success. It's about building something steadily over time. Here are the main ways a YouTube channel can generate income. 1. Ad revenue. Once your channel grows, YouTube places ads on your videos and pays you a share. 2. Affiliate links. You can recommend products you genuinely use, books, tools, equipment, and earn a small commission. 3. Sponsorships. Brands may reach out to you if your audience trusts your voice. 4. Digital products. Simple guides, checklists, or advice-based resources you create once and sell multiple times. But you don't have to do all those things. You could just allow YouTube to put ads on your videos. Even a modest channel can bring in a consistent extra income stream. And for someone on a fixed income, that can make a meaningful difference. A common concern is, I'm not confident enough. I wouldn't know how to present myself. But here's something important to understand. YouTube is not about performance. It's about connection. You don't need a big personality or be fast talking with fancy editing. In fact, many people prefer calm, thoughtful, slower paced content. They want clarity, honesty, and simplicity. If you can speak naturally, as if you're talking to a friend, you already have what you need. And like anything else, confidence builds with practice. Your first video doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Another big hesitation is technology. You might be thinking, I'm not tech savvy. I wouldn't know how to edit. It all seems too complicated. But the reality is much simpler than it appears. To get started, you only need a smartphone, natural lighting like sitting near a window, and a quiet space. That's it. For editing, there are very simple apps that allow you to trim the beginning and the end, cut out mistakes, and add basic titles. You don't need advanced skills. You only need just enough to get your message across. And you can learn one small step at a time. One of the most underrated benefits of starting a YouTube channel at this stage in life is that you no longer feel the need to impress anyone. You're not trying to fit in or follow trends or even become someone you're not. You can simply be yourself. And that authenticity is incredibly refreshing to viewers. Because when someone speaks honestly, without pretending, without exaggerating, it stands out immediately. You become someone people trust. And trust is far more powerful than popularity. Here's something that makes YouTube unique compared to many other activities. The effort you put in today can continue to benefit you months or even years later. A video you make this week could be watched next month. It could be discovered next year. It can continue helping people long into the future. Unlike many things in life, where effort is temporary, this builds over time. You're creating something that lasts. And that sense of building, of gradual progress, is deeply satisfying. If there's one thing that stops most people from starting, it's the idea that everything needs to be perfect before they begin. But on YouTube, perfection isn't what works. Consistency and honesty do. Your early videos might be a bit awkward and not exactly how you imagined. And that's completely fine, because improvement happens naturally. Every video teaches you something new, and viewers don't expect perfection. They appreciate progress. Starting a YouTube channel isn't just about content. It's about creating structure in your day, keeping your mind active, connecting with others, building something meaningful, and potentially adding to your income over time. And perhaps most importantly, it's about proving to yourself that you can still start something new. Because at this point, it's no longer a question of, can you do this? It's simply a question of, will you start? So far, we've talked about why starting a YouTube channel after 50 is not only possible, but powerful. You've seen that you already have the experience, the knowledge, and the perspective people are searching for. You've also seen how it can bring structure, purpose, connection, and even income into your life. Now this final part is about something simple but important. How do you actually begin? Not in a complicated way, not in a technical way, but in a way that feels manageable, realistic, and achievable, starting from exactly where you are today. Before we talk about cameras or ideas or anything practical, we need to address the biggest barrier: perfection. Many people never start because they think I need better equipment. I need to plan everything first. I need to feel more confident. But here's the truth. None of those things come before you start. They come after. Your first video is not meant to be your best video. It's simply your beginning. And once you accept that, everything becomes easier. Let's make this as straightforward as possible. Your first video does not need to be complicated. In fact, the simpler it is, the better. Here are 3 excellent first video ideas. 1. A bit about me. Introduce yourself. Talk about your background, what your life looks like now, and why you've decided to start this channel. This helps people connect with you as a person. 2. What I've learned so far. Share a few life lessons. Not a long list, just 3 to 5 meaningful points. Speak naturally, no need to overthink it. 3. A day in my life. Show your routine, simple moments, morning habits, a walk, cooking, quiet time. These videos are incredibly relatable and often perform very well. Let's remove any complexity around filming. You don't need a studio setup. Here's all you need. Sit somewhere comfortable. Face a window for natural light. Keep your phone steady. Propped up is fine. Speak clearly and calmly. That's it. No special effects. No pressure. If you make a mistake, pause and continue. You can trim it later or leave it in. Sometimes those small imperfections make you more relatable. You don't need to copy younger creators. In fact, you shouldn't. Your strength lies in a different style. A strong video from you will feel calm, not rushed, thoughtful, not reactive, and honest, not exaggerated. Focus on speaking clearly, keeping your message simple and sharing something meaningful. People will come to your channel for clarity, not noise. Confidence doesn't arrive all at once. It builds gradually. Your first video might feel uncomfortable. Your second might feel slightly easier. By your 5th or 6th, something shifts. You begin to relax into it, speak more naturally, and worry far less about how you sound. And eventually, you stop thinking about the camera altogether. You just speak. And that's when your content becomes truly powerful. It's important to be realistic. When you start, you might get very few views, have no comments at first, and wonder if anyone is watching. This is completely normal. Every channel starts this way. Growth on YouTube is not instant. It's gradual. Think of it like planting something. You don't see results immediately, but with consistency, it grows. You don't need to upload every day. In fact, you shouldn't put that pressure on yourself. A simple, sustainable approach works best. For example, 1 video per week, or even 1 every 2 weeks. The key is consistency, not perfection, not speed, just showing up regularly. Over time, this builds confidence, skill, and an audience. But most importantly, it builds momentum. Once you get started, you'll begin to see something interesting. Ideas will come naturally because your life itself becomes your content. You might think, that could be a video. I could talk about that experience. Others might find this helpful. And suddenly you're no longer struggling for ideas. You're simply sharing what you already do, think, and experience. Let's take a step back for a moment. Imagine this. A year from now, you've made 30 to 50 videos. You're more confident speaking. You've connected with people around the world. You've built something that didn't exist before. And maybe, even unexpectedly, you've created a small but steady income, a routine you enjoy, a sense of purpose that feels fulfilling, all from something that started with one simple decision. There's one final thing to consider. Time will pass either way. A year from now will arrive whether you start or not. The only difference is, if you start today, a year from now you'll have something to show for it. If you wait, you may still be thinking about it. And often, the only thing separating those two outcomes is the decision to begin. So here's the full picture. Starting a YouTube channel after 50 is not about keeping up. It's about stepping into something new with everything you've already gained. You bring experience, perspective and authenticity, and those are the exact qualities people are searching for. You don't need to rush, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to start. So if this idea has been sitting in the back of your mind, take this as your sign. Set up your phone, press record and begin. Commit to starting now by commenting below with "I will start my own YouTube channel." Please subscribe so you don't miss my next video, because in that video I show you exactly what you need to do next to actually start. I also tell you what YouTube channel I created when I was exactly where you are now, and how that has worked out for me. In the meantime, thank you for sharing your time with me today. Take gentle care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.